All right, what's going on? I'm sitting at the house and I just want to do a. I haven't uploaded a video in a couple weeks because I've been at the house. um, so I just want to like give an update as to what's going on, why am I at the house, how long have I been here, how long am I going to be here, what's going on. We'll talk about a new fuel card that I just got. It's actually a tire discount card and a dispatch service card. I changed my internet in the truck. I have not tested it out yet. Here's the new SIM card for it. I'll talk about my internet in the truck. Um, so let's start with what's going on. And we'll talk about a couple of pretty awesome loads right here. See these two loads? Pretty sweet loads. These are in the LA market. You can take a look at those. I'll talk about them here in a minute. Um, but what's going on? So my last load was a delivery to Winchester, Virginia, to a Home Depot. I hauled some water heaters up there for Ream. They did not have an empty, and the after hours and weekend support personnel at USA Truck were unable to find me an empty. There was a tremendous amount of drama. I don't want to talk about it. It would take like an entire hour long video to talk about all the drama I dealt with the after hours and weekend. I just got pissed off. I had to cancel my Phoenix load because of them, and I ended up just deadheading home. Um, but and I bobtailed all the way to the house. I never found an empty. I still don't have an empty to this day. But so I had to cancel my Phoenix load. I was planning to go to Phoenix and then deadheading to the LA market and then grabbing a load out of the LA market. But that plan fell through because I couldn't find an empty, and I couldn't find a load. Once I had to cancel my Phoenix load, I tried to find another load, and I couldn't find another load to leave to get out of the Northeast. The Northeast is a quagmire. It's really tough to find a decent load coming out of there, and that's the reason it sucked that I had to cancel my Phoenix load. So after waiting a day and a half, actually I sat there for 2.5 days in Lexington, Virginia, waiting on loads, and then I just gave up and started deadheading to the house. I kept looking for loads as I was deadheading home, but I ended up deadheading 1,200 miles to my house. Bobtail. Not just deadhead, but I bobtailed 1,200 miles to my house. Now I stopped and stayed the night in West Memphis at the terminal, the USA Truck Terminal in West Memphis, Arkansas. It's probably our main terminal. And I looked for an empty when I got there. I probably spent an hour or more looking through every trailer on the yard for an empty. And then after my 10-hour break, when I woke up, I went back out and checked again. I even checked the trailers that they were doing annual inspections on, and every one of them had seals on them. I couldn't find any empties, so I continued bobtailing home, and I couldn't find any loads that were worth hauling. It was a bunch of cheap crap, heavy, going in places I didn't want to go. So I just ended up deadheading all the way to the house. And I looked for a load when I got here, and the market was kind of crap when I got here. There were a couple of decent loads that popped up, but they had to pick up so quick that I didn't have time to get them. And then Thanksgiving week hit, and I was like, yeah, I'm not going to bother leaving on Thanksgiving week because it's just going to be a crapshoot on freight. And it ended up being a crapshoot on freight. Thanksgiving week, Tuesday, had some really awesome loads. Wednesday was a mediocre day. And then Thursday and Friday, I didn't notice much of any new loads being put on the load board. Thursday and Friday were very similar to like a weekend. So I think all the brokers and account managers had Thursday and Friday off, Thanksgiving Day and the day after Thanksgiving. Um, it's Friday night right now at almost 9 p.m. And there wasn't much of any new loads posted today or yesterday. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm going to have to wait until Monday for new loads to be posted. So I'm not likely going to find a load to leave on until sometime between Monday and Wednesday of next week. So I might not be leaving the house until late next week or the week after that. I don't know. We'll just have to see what loads are posted. What else? What else? What else? That's about it. I've been at home for a couple of weeks, and I'm probably going to be at home for 3 weeks. That's where we're at right now. There are some good loads on the load board. These two loads right here are in the LA market. They've been sitting on the load board for a week. This is an $11,600 load going from the Los Angeles market over to New Jersey. And this is South New Jersey, which is basically, it's really rural. North New Jersey up near New York City is very dense. It's like being in New York City. But like South Jersey it's like Midwest. It's like out in the country, like big wide open areas with hardly anything in it. It's still like going across bridges can be very expensive on tolls, but as far as traffic and congestion and stuff like that, this Swedesboro, New Jersey is not a bad place to go. I've never been there, but I have delivered to South Jersey before, and I was surprised at how rural it was. I was expecting it to be a congested city, and it wasn't. It's like out in the country. But $2,150 in fuel surcharge on this load. That's an $11,650 load. That's better than the loads listed on Landstar's load board. Like the loads coming out of LA on Landstar's load board are paying $8,000 to $10,000, and this is paying $1,600 more than the Landstar load. So that's the consistency is the problem with USA Trucks load board. There are some loads on USA Trucks load board that pay better than Landstar, but they don't consistently pay as good or better than Landstar. They usually pay a lot less than other places. But yeah, this is a pretty sweet load. If I was over in the LA market, I'm not sure which one of these two loads I would pick. This Kansas City load is listed as 4 stops. They're both really light loads. I think this one's 19,000 pounds and this one's like 12,000 pounds. So weight is not an issue on either one of them. It would basically, the deciding factor between these two would be backhaul, and what if this was actually 4 stops. I would want more information on the Kansas City load on what the 4 stops were, because it has 2 additional stops on it. Usually a load has 2 stops. It has the pickup and the delivery. This one has 4 listed, so it has 2 additional places you have to stop. It doesn't make any sense. I've never done a multi-stop load with USA Truck, so I would message the driver managers to find out what in the hell the deal was with the additional stops before I would take that Kansas City load. But this load right here, I think it pays $8,325 is what it pays. It's $3.09 per mile is what you would make on the load after the 65% cut. $3.09 per mile, $8,325. Let me flip over to the spreadsheet so you can see what I'm talking about, because I've already got it in the spreadsheet right here. $8,325, $3.09 per mile. The fuel surcharge is 80 cents per mile. You're making 80 cents per mile just on the fuel surcharge. So yeah, that's pretty sweet. It's a really good load. The other 2 things I wanted to talk about real quick, try to keep this video short. My new fuel card, which is basically a tire discount and dispatch service card, and then my internet service. We'll talk about internet service real quick. What I use for internet is I have a MoFi router. Let's show you a MoFi 4500 router. I think that this right here is, yes, this is the exact one that I have. You see it says right here, you last purchased this item on April 7th of 2020. This is the exact router that I have. It has a SIM card slot in it so that you can, it's like a normal router at your house, except it has an add-in slot where you can put a SIM card for cell phone service. And so it connects up to cell towers using a normal cell plan, and it connects to the data, and then it distributes it like a normal router does. So your router at your house has a port where it connects to a modem through your cable or DSL internet or whatever. Instead of that, this one connects to cell service. So that's what I use in the truck for internet. And Verizon sent me a nasty email and said that they found out that I was using that MoFi router, and they said you're not supposed to be using that device for this plan. This plan is made for smartphones only, and we're going to turn your service off if you keep using that device. So I canceled my Verizon service, and I was paying $65 a month for unlimited data on, and it was really slow internet. It was 2 megabits per second, which there's a big difference between megabit and megabyte. I forget the exact math on it to translate like 2 megabit into kilobytes, but 2 megabit to kilobyte. So that's megabyte. We want to do megabit. Yeah, there it is. 2 megabits equals 250 kilobytes. Is that dividing it by 8? 2000. Let me run the math on it. 2024 divided by 8 is 253. So is it 2000 divided by 8? Yeah. So it's 2000 divided by 8. Comes up with 250 kilobytes per second. So it's really slow. The Verizon internet was really slow. My new internet service that I have is going to be, instead of $65 a month, it's $100 a month. And it's supposed to be high priority, whereas Verizon was low priority data. It was throttled to 2 megabit, and it was really high latency. Whatever they use to throttle it also slows down the signal, causes it to be a really slow response time. The new service is supposed to be high priority data that's fast response, and it's like will run it as fast as it can possibly go. So it should be much better internet, faster, with lower latency. And it's $65 a month for the Verizon. My new service is $99.99 a month, $100 a month. So we'll see how it goes. I'm looking forward to it. I have not, as you can see, I have the card right here for this. This is the SIM card. I have to pop out the little SIM card right here and stick it into my router. I have not done that yet. I haven't hooked it up. It's on my to-do list. Before I hit the road, I will make sure that it works. And then the other thing is so if you've been following my videos, I had a tire issue when I was doing a delivery of shopping carts to a Walmart, and I forget where I was delivering that to. Was that the Salisbury, North Carolina? No. I was delivering to somewhere, I think in Kentucky, was that Walmart shopping cart load. Or was it Tennessee? I can't remember. Anyway, I had an issue where I had an air leak on a steer tire. Ended up being the rim and not the tire, but I thought that I was going to have to buy a tire. And Love's price for the tire was crazy. For a steer tire, they wanted $600 or $700 just for the tire. So it was going to cost me somewhere in the area of $800 or more, $800 to $900 just for them to replace a steer tire with roadside. A single tire was going to cost me $800 to $1,000. I can't remember exactly how much they wanted to charge me for it, but I remember the tire alone was $600 or $700. And so that got me to. Finally, I was planning on getting a tire discount card that Everett Madison recommended in his videos, Trucking Inside, Everett Madison Trucking. Let me pull it up here. Let's go to YouTube. Let's go to Trucking Inside. Trucking Inside. Yeah, this is Everett Madison Trucking. He's an owner-operator, and he runs a small fleet. He operates a truck in that small fleet. He's how I found out about my fuel card and the tire discount card. So he's got a lot of good information. But I've been meaning to get the tire discount card that he recommended, and I've been procrastinating on it. So while I was sitting there waiting on Love's Roadside to show up, I put in an app for the card. And it took about 2 months for them to verify everything, but they finally got everything verified on Monday or Tuesday of this week, and they told me that the card was in the mail. Basically, it took forever for them to verify that I was actually like authorized to use USA Truck's Motor Carrier Authority. They were emailing, who knows, I don't know who they were emailing at USA Truck, but whoever they were emailing at USA Truck to verify authorization was not responding to the emails. And I started emailing people at USA Truck and copying the ComData rep on it. And the ComData rep forwarded those emails from Christina and my driver manager, and they said that they would accept that as authorization, that both of them said that I was authorized and I was leased on with USA Truck. But anyway, I probably have it in the mailbox right now. I haven't checked the mail today. I'll go out there and check it after I make this video. But let me check something real quick. But let's talk about that card. So I bought it. I got that card just for the tire discount. So it was like a $50 setup fee and $5 a month for the card. They do credit checks and they verify that they have to have a motor carrier authority for a fuel card to register it against. Anytime you get a fuel card, you have to have a motor carrier authority that you're using the card against, so that they can report it. But anyway, I got it just mainly for the tire discounts, and went through all that process of the credit checks and the verification and everything, and it actually ends up, it's a decent fuel discount card. So the tire discounts on it is Goodyear and Bridgestone. I think it's only those two brands. I'm not 100% on that. And it's up to 65% off. So instead of $600 or $700 for a tire, you're talking like $300 for a tire, $250 for a tire. So yeah, huge discounts. And it also has a dispatch service. You can call up the dispatch service and they will find a mechanic, a roadside mechanic, to come out and replace a tire for you. And the mechanics that they send out are authorized mechanics or whatever to do Goodyear and they carry the Goodyear and Bridgestone tires that you have discounts with. They're authorized through Goodyear and Bridgestone or whatever. And that's the main reason that I got the card, was for the tire discounts and the dispatch service for roadside. The other thing is, it is just a fuel card. It's a normal fuel card that you have to go through a credit check and everything for. They said that I was approved for $2,600 for a $2,600 limit on the fuel card. I can't remember anything else, any other details on it, but so they said that the fuel card part of it is managed by Schneider. So it's a Schneider fuel program that the card is a part of, and the fuel program that's managed by Schneider on the card is 25 cents off the cash price. It's a flat rate discount, 25 cents off the cash price at all TA and Petros. So it's a total of a 31 cent per gallon discount at every TA and Petro off of the pump price, because the pump price is the credit price. Cash price at TA and Petro is 6 cents per gallon discount, and then a 25 cent per gallon discount with this fuel card. So 31 cent per gallon discount. That's pretty sweet. That's pretty damn good. I might actually use this fuel card sometimes because there are occasionally places that I fuel up where I only get like a 15 or 20 cent per gallon discount. So this might potentially be a better discount. So this will be my third fuel card. My primary card is the XPO Logistics fuel card that is a variable rate. I have to go and look at a list to see what my discount is at particular places, and it can be up to 60, 70 cents a gallon off or more. Normally, I would say I average about 40 cents a gallon off of the credit price. So like 34 cent per gallon discount plus 6 cent per gallon cash or fuel card discount. So about 40 cent per gallon off of the credit price or the pump price is normally what I average. So I'll probably still continue using XPO Logistics as my primary fuel card. It's like a $2,500 line of credit on that fuel card. This will probably be my secondary fuel card. And then the ComData card that you get with USA Truck is a 15 cent per gallon discount off of the cash price. So you still get the 5 or 6 cent per gallon off of the credit price plus 15 cents per gallon. So it's a 20 to 21% or 20 to 21 cent per gallon discount. And it works everywhere, all the majors. So the USA Truck ComData card, MasterCard is 15 cent per gallon off the cash price at all TA Petro, Flying J Pilot, and Loves. And I'm not aware of any limit on the line of credit on that one. So this will be my third fuel card. And it's the only one that I pay a monthly price for, $5 a month. The my XPO Logistics fuel card, they charge me a transaction fee. They don't charge me any monthly fees or anything like that. It's $1.25 per transaction. So every time I fuel up with it, I pay them $1.25. It's worth it. But yeah, that's what's going on with me. That's where I'm at. I'm probably going to be leaving the house in a week, maybe a little over a week from now. Maybe a week and a half from now. I'm not sure exactly. But hopefully the freight market starts booming. And where am I at? What am I doing? So, and we'll start doing some stuff. Let's look at loads headed to the Los Angeles market. Spring Hill, Kansas has a couple of them. They don't pick up for a long time, though. Let's see here. December 5th is next Saturday. December 10th is quite a ways away. Ugh. Do I really want to set it at home for that long? Until the 10th? Where's Rialto, California? Like, I know where Redlands is at. Is Rialto? Yeah, it looks like Rialto is like right there in the San Bernardino Redlands area. So that red highlighted area is Rialto. This entire area is San Bernardino. Right there is Redlands. Fontana. Yeah. This is the area that I really like to be in the Los Angeles area. I don't want to grab loads that are going over here to the ports over on Long Beach. I do not want to deal with this nightmare over here. This over here in Fontana, This is a good place to be. This is pretty sweet. If you can just dip in, grab a load out of Fontana, and then dip the hell back out, then you don't have to pay crazy fuel prices in California. You can top off in Kingman. Where's Kingman at? Where are we at? What's going on? Kingman, right there. Kingman. There's a TA in Kingman. Has really good fuel prices. So you can top off in Kingman, dip down in here, drop off, pick up, hop back up, and then head the hell out and be gone. Yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to, when I leave the house, I want to go over here and deliver to this area. And these are actually, where were we at? Right here. These are actually pretty damn good loads, because most of the loads that are going into the LA market are like $1 a mile loads. So normally a load that's going 1,500 miles into the LA market would be paying like $2,000, $2,100, maybe $2,200. And this is paying $3,500, almost $3,600. So this is a over $2 a mile load going into the LA market. That's like a really good load. That's paying well above market price. So I'm tempted to snag up one of these two loads right here going over to the LA market. I don't know, man. Let's see. This one's 40,000 pounds going from A&M to Clorox. And this one's 42,000 pounds going to Amazon. I do not want... I've delivered to Amazon once or twice, but it's always been dropping hooks. And I've never really had to deal with drama at Amazon. I think I've only ever delivered or picked up from an Amazon like once. And it was not that big of a deal. But I've heard a lot of nightmare stories about Amazon loads. Like, you know, the lines to get in and out of the places are forever long, and they take forever to load and unload you. So if I was to take one of these two loads, it would probably be this load right here. Going to Redlands, because A&M Products is a Procter & Gamble owned distribution center, and it's delivering to a Clorox distribution center. So this is basically Procter & Gamble to Procter & Gamble. I'm not dealing with a third party here. This is basically, I'm hauling a load from Procter & Gamble to Procter & Gamble. 39,000 pounds. I think I might snag this load up. Picks up the 10th, delivers on the 14th. Huh. Do I want to set it home that long? Oh my goodness, that's forever. That's my cameras outside. Sorry. That is a long damn time. I'm tempted to pull the trigger on it though, just because, I mean, this is a big deadhead. For me to go to Spring Hill, Kansas from my house is like probably 350 miles. Oklahoma City to Spring Hill, Kansas. 326 miles. And I'd probably bobtail. And right here in Ottawa. And this is not the route that I would take to Spring Hill. to get to Spring Hill, I would go all the way up to right here and then go south. Um, and I would probably steal an empty from a Walmart distribution center here in Ottawa. I want to say it's like right in here somewhere. Or is that the other exit? There it is. There's the Walmart distribution center right there. Um, this Zarco six no this Fuel Espresso Zarco 66 thing. I think this is the place where I parked at. Yeah, this is the place I parked right here in one of these spots while I waited um, for my appointment time at this Walmart DC. This Walmart DC is where I accidentally, when I was trying to drop my airbags, I accidentally unlocked my fifth wheel and then locked it back as soon as I noticed that I unlocked it. And my fifth wheel was so rusted that whenever it opened up, um, it it wouldn't close back. It wouldn't push the notches or whatever back out to lock back into place. So I had to drive from Ottawa down to it was like 30 miles, 30 or 40 miles to a TA. Where the hell? Right there it is. There's the TA. So right there is that TA. So I drove from Ottawa to right there at that TA with my fifth wheel unlocked. Yeah, that was scary. Got to be really careful with that because if that thing builds up momentum, it can just smash through. It was really dangerous. I don't advise anybody to do that. But I didn't really have any other options. I could have called out a wrecker service if I would have had the right tools. Basically, I just needed penetrating oil or some type of lubricant that could break through rust and free up, something that was rusted, and a sledgehammer to bang on it. But it took the mechanics at TA 30 to 45 minutes of banging on it before they could finally get it locked back into place. But yeah. So, I don't know if I'm going to pull the trigger on that load right now. I think I'm going to wait till next week, see what gets posted next week. But I might actually snag up that load if it's still sitting there on December 10th. If I can't find something good next week, then I might grab that load going to Redlands on December 10th because I don't want to deal with Amazon. I'll wait 5 extra days at my house to not have to deal with Amazon. And I'll take that load over to Redlands and hope that there's going to be a really good load coming out of California going back to hopefully Kansas City. That'd be awesome. But there are loads coming out of the LA market that go to Kansas City, Memphis, Tennessee, the New Orleans area. My only load that I've ever taken out of the LA market was to up here. What was it called? Lacombe, Louisiana. It's to a Smucker's distribution center. It was like $5,500 to go 1,800 miles for $5,500. That was the load that I took out of Redlands, California. So I don't really think I want to take one of these coast-to-coast runs, even though it pays $11,000, $12,000. I'd rather take a $6,500, $7,000 load going to Kansas City than one paying $12,000 to go all the way to Jersey. But what I would like is if I could If I could just run back and forth from Kansas City to Fontana, that would be a pretty sweet route. And I'm gonna try to see if I can't do that on USA Trucks load board. It's too inconsistent to do it, but I'm gonna try to do it. I'm at least gonna make the attempt, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to do it because the loads are just too inconsistent. Because this load we were just looking at, this Kansas City load right here, I see these Kansas City loads pop up here on a fairly regular basis. Why is it 4 stops? I need more information on the 4 stops. Yeah, I need more information on the 4 stops before I would take this load. But I see these loads going to Kansas City all the time. When I say all the time, I mean like once every week or two. So it would be really hard to consistently just run back and forth between Kansas City and the Los Angeles market. But I might give it a try. But anyway, I said I was going to make a short video, and it's approaching 40 minutes already. So that's pretty much what's going on with me. Is I might be at the house for a while. I don't know. I didn't want to really leave the house until Monday of next week. So unfortunately, they didn't post new loads. I was hoping to get a load yesterday or today to leave out on Monday or Tuesday, but I'm gonna have to wait until Monday or Tuesday for new loads to be posted. So we'll see. We'll have to see. We'll have to wait and see. Whenever I finally get a load, I'll try and do a video on what my trip plan is to get the hell out of here. But I'm really wanting to stay away from the Northeast. I'm just so burnt out on the East and the Northeast. I'm sick and tired of it, especially after my accident. Because if you watch my accident video, basically somebody, whenever I was changing lanes for somebody merging on to the interstate, some dumb shit behind me tried to pass me before I completed the lane change. They went out onto the shoulder and tried to make it around me before I completed the lane change, but they didn't have enough room. The shoulder was too narrow. They clipped the side of my trailer, and they claimed that I just like ran them off the road. They just lied their ass off. But after that, even before that, like I had 2 or 3 people do that to me before that guy. And then after that guy, I had another 3 or 4 people do that to me. Like every time I would put my turn signal on and start doing a lane change, the 4-wheelers behind me would just get out and try to pass me as I was changing lanes. Like it was just, I don't know what it is about over there on the East that as soon as you turn your signal on to start doing a lane change, the traffic behind you just floors it and tries to pass you as you're making the lane change. That happened to me like probably 7 times that day, and one of the people clipped the side of my trailer doing it. It was just like dumbasses. I don't even understand it. Like they're just idiots. And the worst one of all was not even the one that clipped me. The worst one of all, I was coming up. It was right before I got to Winchester. It was probably like 15, 20 miles before I got to the Winchester, the Home Depot delivery in Winchester, Virginia. I was coming up on an off-ramp where traffic was backed up at a complete stop on the off-ramp. And as I was approaching it, I put my signal on, and then I started changing lanes. And this idiot in an SUV, she came out around me as I was in the lane change, and I stopped, went back into my lane. She went around me, slammed on her brakes, cut me off to get in line for that exit. I almost rear-ended her because she just went straight across my front bumper with her brakes on to get in line for that exit, to cut me off for that. I don't even understand. Why would you be passing somebody when you need to take an exit? She just went out and just immediately cut me off and slammed on her brakes. That was the worst one. But luckily, I did not rear end her. Um, I just don't understand people. I don't understand how stupid people are and how they could be so dangerous in vehicles. But I'm just really burnt out on the east, northeast, and the idiots over there, and how congested the traffic is. And even driving at night, traffic is bad over in the east and the northeast. So I'm just going to try and stay out of that area for a while. I'm just burnt out on it. I'm tired of dealing with that crap. It's not worth it. I can't. I I don't want to get into another, an accident that could potentially be like my fault over people doing stupid stuff like that. I don't want to like mess up my driving record. I don't care how much the loads are paying for me to go up into there. If people are just going to be driving crazy like that, it's not worth it for my livelihood. Like, it could cause me injury. It could cause serious damage to my vehicle, which could be very costly. It could mess up my driving record. Like, it could ruin my career because of idiots. So I'm just going to take a break from the east, northeast for a while. I don't know why people are driving so stupid up there right now. But we're going to take a break from that. So I'm going to try to run the south and the southwest. I would run Midwest, but I want to stay out of the north because it's the winter. So I'm trying to stay, Kansas City south and probably like Missouri or Alabama. Yeah, Alabama west. So, yeah. Kansas City is as far north as I want to go. Alabama is as far east as I want to go. And I just kind of want to stay in that area down there for the remainder of my time at USA Truck. And then once I get on with Landstar, hopefully Landstar has enough freight on their load board that I can just run in areas that I want to run. Like, ideally, what I want to run is like Oklahoma City to Fontana, just back and forth between Oklahoma City and Fontana. Now, if I can go like Fontana to Dallas or Fontana to Kansas City or Fontana to Tulsa or Fontana to Little Rock or Memphis, Tennessee, basically anywhere around Oklahoma City and Fontana, just back and forth, that would be ideally what I would like to do. And I would prefer to stay on I-40 because the fuel prices are better on I-40 than they are on I-10. Kingman, Arizona is amazing for fuel, so I would prefer to drive through Kingman. I'm going to have to deal with a little bit more mountains on 40, but I would rather deal with that and get the better fuel prices and not have to deal with driving through Dallas. So we'll see what's on Landstar's load board, but I would love to just run back and forth between Oklahoma City and Fontana. That would be amazing. We'll see what I can do once I get on with Landstar. But I think that's it for this video. I'm going to go back to kicking some butt in World of Warcraft and try to get my truck prepped and ready to head out possibly next week. I'm most likely going to be staying at home again next week. And for anybody out there that's like wondering, why in the hell am I sitting at home so much? This is what's amazing about having really low costs. If you have really low fixed costs, like my fixed weekly costs are only like $120 a week. That's it. So me sitting at home doesn't cost me very much money. And whenever I'm like the last time I was out, the last week I was out, in a single week, I made $7,400 gross to the truck. I made about $6,000 after all expenses, fuel and everything. I made about $6,000 in a single week. That's enough money for me to pay all of my bills for about 2 months. So that 1 week paid enough money. My Altrac Valley Q popped. That 1 week paid me enough money that I could sit at home for almost 2 months if I wanted to. I don't want to. I mean, yeah, if I could sit at home and never have to work, yeah, that'd be great. But I don't want to just burn through all of my money. I would like to actually set money aside, so I don't set at home as much as I could, but I do set at home a lot. So whenever your expenses are low and your income is high, it gives you a lot of flexibility. So if you're going out there and you're getting that nice brand new truck, like with Prime, let's take Prime for an example. I bash on Prime a lot. Prime is not a very good company to lease on with, and it's because of their costs. Prime drivers make as much as me, typically, but their expenses are so high that after expenses, I typically make more than Prime drivers. Even their owner operators that are trainers, I typically make more than their trainers. Whenever after you take expenses away, because like if you go watch Trucker Will's video, he'll talk about making 7,000 gross in a week, but what he's actually bringing home after he pays his student and he pays for the fuel and he pays for his truck payment and his ELDs and all the rest of that crap. I'm not talking about post taxes. I'm talking about just business expenses. After all of his business expenses on like a $7,000 week, he's only bringing home like $3,000 to $3,500 to himself. I bring home like $3,700 a week to myself on a normal week where I only make about $4,700 gross to the truck. And I can do a lot better than that. That's just an average week for me. So, expenses, man, whenever you're planning out your business, expenses needs to be a big part of it. And like you definitely need to focus on income, because a lot of these places that you can contract with, their pay structure is set up so that you cannot make money. The best you can hope for is to make as much as their company drivers. Almost anybody that pays flat rate, you're going to make as much as a company driver on flat rate. That is a huge red flag. If you are an owner operator and you're going to sign a contract to lease on to somebody and they are paying flat rate, then that is a massive red flag. You are most likely not going to make very much money on that contract. I'm not saying that there aren't flat rates that are good. I'm just saying it's a big red flag, and you need to do some digging to find out what the deal is on that. Because, if you're leased on with Landstar, you can sign a dedicated contract where you run a flat rate mileage for like a month for UPS or FedEx or Estes or whoever, Averitt, and you get paid like $2.50 a mile or whatever. That's decent. That's not what I'm talking about. Like, there are flat rate mileages that are decent like that. What I'm talking about is like Stevens Transport and CR England and all the rest of these places where they're paying you like $1 a mile flat rate, or these places that have the variable rates where if you are running under 50 miles or whatever, you get paid $2.50 a mile. If the load's over 100 miles, then you make like $1.80 a mile, and if it's over 300 miles, you get paid $1 a mile. Those are garbage. Like, all those things are garbage. Almost every flat rate pay model I've looked at, Crete has one of the best flat rate pay models I've seen, and it is still garbage. You can't make any money with that. You're going to be lucky to make as much as one of their company drivers that are making 65 cents a mile. And you need to make considerably more than a company driver to make being an owner-operator worth it. Because the very first time you have an unexpected expense, it's going to set you back as an owner-operator. And you're going to go from making about as much as a company driver to making less than a company driver average on the year. On your very first, if you're making close to the same as a company driver, your first unexpected expense, you're going to be making less than a company driver. And you're going to have unexpected expenses. Let me see if the sphere will get this guy to go this direction. No. But yeah, flat rate mileage stuff sucks. So there are two main variables to being successful as an owner operator: income and expense, and they're both important. So make sure that you're if you sign a lease with somebody, or if you're if you're running under your own authority, make sure that you're running loads where you're actually making good money. If you're leased on with somebody, make sure that your contract is set up in a way that you are actually going to be able to make good money. And then try to keep your expenses as low as possible, because if you get really high expenses, because a lot of these places are going to offer you the world. It's really easy to get a brand new truck. They basically just give those things away. But if you fall into the temptation and you end up getting a brand new truck and all the other things that they're going to get you to sign up for, and you burden yourself with really high weekly costs, $1,000 to $2,000 a week fixed costs, then you're basically why does this guy, this is like the second or third time this guy's come all the way back here. Has he even hit anybody? Or does he get CC'd and died before he can even touch anybody? What was I saying? It's like it's a huge burden that you're putting on yourself. It's like putting yourself in, trucker prison or something. Whenever you saddle yourself with that much expense, that much fixed cost, then you're putting yourself into a position where you can't take time off. You are married to the truck. You're just, and that's one of the great things about being an owner operator, is the freedom to just, if you're a company driver, if you're an over-the-road company driver, then you're talking about standard time off is 1 day for every week that you're out. So it's like 3 weeks out and then 3 days off. And companies typically try to screw you out of as many days off as they can. So you'll get home for your 3 days off, and you'll actually only get like 2 days or 2.5 days. That you don't get your full 3 days, because you have to be over to pick up your load. Like they'll have it set up to where you deliver your load, and then it's going to take you like 8 hours to get home or 12 hours to get home. Well, all that time spent getting home, they're counting that towards your off time. And then all the time that it takes you to leave your house and get to your next load, that's also counted towards your off time. So time that you're not actually off at home, they're counting towards your off time. A lot of companies do that kind of crap. So, they tell you it's 3 weeks out, 3 weeks home, or 3 days home. A lot of that really turns into like a day and a half at home for every 3 weeks out. It's crazy. I couldn't make it as a company driver for very long with how ridiculous they treat you. I mean, it's just crazy, like how company drivers are treated. I mean, there are some decent places, but you're still, even at the decent places, you're going to be working your ass off for not enough money, in my opinion. So keep your expenses low, keep your income high, and your goal should be to have little or no expenses and just massively high income. In my opinion, that should be every owner operator's goal, is to get to that place where you have freedom. Like I have a tremendous amount of freedom to basically do whatever the hell I want, and I love that. I love that. If I just get sick and tired of it, I can just deadhead home and take 2 or 3 weeks off. I'm just like, I'm done with this. I'm going to take 2 or 3 weeks off. That's what I just did. I love that freedom. And it was not easy to get that freedom. one of the biggest reasons that I can do that is because I have a paid off truck. And why do I have a paid off truck? Because I saved up a lot of money for my last job, in 401k and other things. I had money in stocks and all kinds of crap. And I used money that I had saved up from my previous job to set myself up in trucking. So, and that was like, I worked at that job for like 12 years. So this wasn't something that was easy to do. But if you bust your ass as an owner operator, it should only take you a year or two to get into a position where you could have, a paid off truck and have really low expenses. If you really bust your ass and your income is high, you could set yourself up in only a couple of years. You don't have to, spend 12 years like I did. But anyway, this video is getting long, so I think I'm going to end it there, and I'm going to play World of Warcraft. And, Fat Man hasn't eaten in like 10 minutes, so I should probably go eat something. Otherwise, I'm going to get really skinny. We can't be having any of that. Yeah, I really need to lose weight. I've been nothing but gaining weight. So, just a couple of years ago, I got down to 190 pounds. And then I gained weight up to about 240 pounds while I was still at my last job. And I got so big that I didn't feel comfortable riding my motorcycle. I had a Ninja 636, a Kawasaki ZX6R. And I got so damn fat at 240 pounds that I just didn't feel comfortable on the bike. It's a super sport, and it's the seating position on it's weird, and you basically have to balance your weight on the top of the bike, and you have to be able to control your body weight to maneuver the vehicle properly. And if you don't have control over your body weight, like if you're so fat that you cannot control yourself on the motorcycle, then it's dangerous. Because if you're so fat that whenever you go to brake, you're starting to come up over the handlebars and you're not strong enough in your legs to clamp down onto the fuel tank and hold yourself into the seat, then you're going to have to let off the brakes. You're not going to be able to brake as hard if you can't hold your butt in the seat when you're hard braking. So, I got to that point where whenever I was, hitting the brakes, I couldn't hold myself in the seat when I was braking hard and stuff like that. And whenever I was accelerating hard, I just, and in turns and stuff like that, I just didn't feel safe on the bike. So the last year I owned the bike, I didn't ride it because I was too damn fat for the thing. And by the time I quit my old job, I was up to 255 pounds. And since I've gotten into trucking, I've just kept gaining weight. I'm almost up to 280 pounds now. I'm like 278 pounds last time I looked on the scale. I really need to do something about the weight. But talking about it and acting on it are two different things. And I think about doing it a lot, but action is not happening. So it's always something I'm thinking about, though. But anyway. Yeah, I'm fat. I need to work on it. I would love to be back down around 160 pounds. That'd be awesome. I think 160 is probably about my ideal weight. So I'm about 120 pounds overweight. So one of these days is probably never going to happen. At this point, I'm just like, I don't want to mess with it. I don't want to deal with it. I've got all the money that whenever you have enough money that you can just eat anything you want, anytime you want. You can order Uber Eats all day long and stuff like that. It's really hard to have the self-control to tell yourself no. When you're sitting there craving something and you can just a phone call away or just like log into a website and, click the order button and have it there within 30 minutes, it's really hard to tell yourself no on that. Whenever I'm sitting here thinking, man, Domino's Pizza sounds damn good right now, or Panda Express sounds damn good, or whatever. It's It's really hard to have the self-control to say no, and I've been failing at that miserably for a long time. So, anyway, that doesn't have anything to do with trucking. And I'm not really doing anything in the battleground right now. I'm guarding this node because I'm making the video. Normally I would be up on the front lines fighting, but I'm trying to wrap up this video. Once I wrap up this video, I'll go and start fighting people. But yeah, that's about it with what's going on with me. Let's switch this back over to browser real quick. And the market's pretty dried up because it's basically the holidays. And they have not been posting much of any new loads on the board. But that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. Have a good one. Bye.